in this 3 days conversation, first we are looking at raising awareness around data governance, because many people actually use the internet, use digital tools, all sort of, but many are not aware of the important issues around this. We are bringing ourselves together to actually first discuss this. That's the first point of our conversation.
We cannot harness data governance for regional and national development without speaking about data protection and privacy, and that's why I'm here to speak about the subject. Speaking at these events has been very insightful and very impactful, even to me, the facilitators. There's been a lot of questions, and one of the things I have emphasized on is breaching the awareness gap. It's not something that should be left for just the regulator, which is the Nigeria Data Protection Act. It is an effort that needs to be put in place by all stakeholders.
I think one of the key takeaway from this engagement is how do we put in place the required governance framework so that we can enhance data for effective policy making.
The take home for me is that I should be careful how I discard my data online or how I expose myself, like information I feel or places I go to without having to seek consent, or like without them seeking my consent before my data is being used. So a lot of things have been learned here, and I know this is the first day, and I'm moving forward. I know there's still a lot for me to learn as the program continues.
The next part of our conversation now is actually a kind of broader stakeholder, so that we can really see what are the challenges, what are the problems, and how do we really address those problems going forward. Everybody comes together, we discuss the pertinent issue affecting Nigeria, affecting the African continent, and from there I think we really kind of draw a roadmap for how we can set a better trajectory for digital development on the continent.
A country like Nigeria, can also leverage on data as a means of social and economic prosperity. As far as data governance is concerned, the National Information Technology Development Agency started something in the area of regulation. As at last year, I think sometimes in February, we released a national data strategy, and this is a strategy to help Nigerians, organizations, be it governments, being private, to have the strategy, to be able to derive economic and social values from as in data. So this particular strategy, lists so many things, that organizations, need to do, to be able, to maximize the value of data. And most importantly, is to have a data governance structure.
Talking about how businesses should maximize the use of data in the private sector especially. The Nigerian business environment, especially the micro, small and medium enterprise, amounts to over 40 million businesses across the nation. And it is necessary to understand that while these organizations gather data, the processing of this data is quite important. Why is it important? There are circumstances where data like the names, address, email addresses of people are taken, and it's necessary to know to what extent to which these data are protected in order not to expose the subjects of this data to unprone harm